It rained a bit last night, so I'm not sure how much, but you can see the river's flowing a little bit faster than the last time I was here. You can't tell by seeing it just once, but it is higher and it is faster than the last time I saw it. That's the Topeka Boulevard Bridge. I'm not sure if it has another name, but it goes over the river, the Kansas River, and then it goes over the railroad tracks that are over that way. Speaking of railroad tracks, there's a line that comes over to this bridge. This is the Rock Island, the old Rock Island Railroad Bridge. It's now owned by Union Pacific. Yeah. So that's the south side of the river, and this is the north side. Not a good idea. And the trains blow their whistle before they enter the bridge, I'm pretty sure. So at least people have a warning if they're walking across it or riding their bike across it. I've seen people walking across it too. That's idiotic. Idiotic. So on these tracks up ahead, just past that red signal, is to the right. They head towards Kansas City. To the left is towards Marysville. So years ago, when Rock Island passenger trains would come across here, they could stop, go to the right here at the Y, and then stop at the old station, which at the time was probably still called the Union Pacific Station, but it was, they were sharing it, I think, with Rock Island and maybe another one or two railroads would use it for passenger services as well. And now it's called the Great Overland Station. It's been restored and it's a museum. But the museum hasn't been open yet this year. So I don't know. It's being run by the Shawnee County Parks and Recreation. I haven't found out yet why it's not opening. There it is right over there. Rock Island had their own passenger terminal or station at one point, and then they abandoned it. Maybe their service wasn't as popular as it had been, their passenger service. And it was on the other side of the river, the south side. The station was actually over here. Across from that building there on the left. And then, so what trains would do is they would, if they were coming from let's see, if trains were coming from the west, they would go this way. You know, we're talking about passenger trains. They'd come this way, then they'd probably switch the locomotive to the front of the, or the what was the back of the train. Now then pull it, or they just back up the train and then they pull it so they could get onto the railroad bridge, assuming they were going towards Kansas City or north. Here's the Santa Fe, Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe rail bridge, and it's non-operational at this point, but it goes from over here where the yard is, BNSF yard, and crosses the river, which is right over here. Then this is the levee system, right? And then the bridge, it's closed, so I don't know, maybe I could even walk across it, but today maybe I won't get too adventurous, but I'll walk closer. Yep, here it is. It looks like you might be able to walk across it. I'll go over there and take a better look, but I'm not going to venture there today. But it goes right into the yard, BNSF yard. Now, even back then, I think they would have to switch onto the Union Pacific tracks. They probably had trackage rights. Well, they had to have had trackage rights over there onto those tracks. Maybe they'd be able to turn around and go west, because they do have their own track. Even back then, they probably had their own track. I'd have to look at old maps, but you know, they go that way on that side, south side of the river. They go that way to Kansas City typically. So I think that's the only way they can get to Kansas City is from here, is to go through those tracks. There's no other way. Now, these tracks go to Kansas City too, but this is a different company. This is Union Pacific. And obviously they're not using those tracks, at least not using those tracks from this bridge, because it's closed. Yeah, let me take a look at the walkway. Well, at one point they had some kind of tar on it. Now they don't. So it doesn't look like the wood's in very bad shape, but not sure that I would try. At least not today, but maybe never. Must be pretty good wood if they haven't closed this off to public. Now, this isn't like easily accessible from public, because you have to go on the levee, walk on the levee, the top of the levee, which is really technically just supposed to be a road, I think. But they let people walk on it and ride their bikes, etc. But it's not super supported. Put it that way. It's pretty much at your own risk kind of scenario.